why am I having this facade in front of others? Why do I have facade in front of my colleagues, with my teams, with my leaders, with my children? Why do I have all this facade? How is the facade serving me today? Hey everyone, welcome back to Coaching Engines Live. So glad you can join us this week. Now today we can explore one notion of you, why you matter in the conversation, and how do we help the clients, and how do we help your clients and your teams and your leadership really expound on that. And if you are a life coach, this is going to be a really important topic for you today. So if you're new to the channel, do hit the subscribe button and notification bell to stay tuned with all the latest updates that we have for you. Now we have a whole series of videos in our playlist, so do check them out as well, because this is not the only videos. I want you to get in touch with all the different videos that we have that will really inspire you and help you become a better coach, a better leader, a better person, a better a spouse, a better husband, a better wife, a better child, a better youth. Well, this video will really help you as well. Now today we can talk about these three letters. The letters are Y-O-U, you. And why you is so important today. And many people say, hey, if you use the word you, it sounds very offensive. You, right? It sounds very directive. But let me tell you, you has a special power. If I say we versus I say you versus I say I, there's a different feeling attributed to each one of components. Now, all of them are important, but today we're going to look at you. Being you and you be. You be being you. What do we mean by that? How do we actually be us? How do you be you? What does it mean? How do we be the authentic self? How do we be the real self? Will the real person stand up? Will the real man stand up? Will the real woman stand up? And what do we mean by all this? Because one of the key attributes to creating a compelling conversation, to creating a life-changing conversation, is the notion of being able to distinguish between you be and be you. You be and be you. You be is allowing you to be something, or to be someone, or do something. Be you, it's allowing you to be who you are, the authentic self, the real you, the person that's on the inside of you. So you be something, you, that's basically the manifestation of you. Be you, it's who you are expressed out. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the different components that allow us to go deeper. Now, if you're a life coach, this will really help you. So I use these tools to really help in my life coaching sessions as well. So many of you have asked me, Jedi, how do we help our clients in the life coaching sessions? How do we go deeper in life coaching? What do we mean by life coaching? How do we help with the different issues the clients that are facing? Well, this is how we're going to do that, right? Let me show you in a few sequence of steps. Number one is this. One is, do we be authentic and real us, or be what others want to be? Do we be the authentic and real us, or be what others want us to be? So really interesting, right? What are we being? What are we be, or who do we be, right? One of the big challenges is in the conversation, we tend to project who we want others to see us as, rather than who we truly are. We tend to want others to see us as, through the lens of how we would love people to see us, but rather, and not quite as how we would see ourselves. So one of the key challenges in the conversation, to create a compelling conversation, is allowing the person to feel really free to be themselves, so they can fully express what they have on the inside of them. So what do we mean by authentic and real self? Well, a self that's no pretense, a self that has not been made up, that doesn't have layers or facade that just blocks it, but a self that really is true to themselves, a self that really shows who they are on the inside, a self that really is there to really demonstrate the person in a deeper sense, and also to show who the person really is without all the layers that's placed on them. So one of the key challenges is, when we talk about having no pretense, we're saying, hey, in a conversation, how do we just be real? Remove the facade. Can we have a real conversation with ourselves? When was the last time you had a real conversation with you? Right? And then ask yourself, say, hey, why am I having this facade in front of others? Why do I have facade in front of my colleagues, with my teams, with my leaders, with my children? Why do I have all this facade? How is the facade serving me today? Is it serving me, or is it just because I'm not comfortable with my imperfections? Too often, many of us are not comfortable with our imperfections because we are afraid that people see our imperfections. We are afraid that people see our vulnerabilities. We are afraid that people see our weaknesses. But my friend, today I'm telling you, one of the key challenges is this. Allowing your clients to express their weaknesses is not a weak thing, because strong people know their weaknesses. Strong men recognize their weaknesses, and they're working on their weaknesses. Great performing teams recognize their weaknesses. Great performing teams, they celebrate the weakness that they have, because if they have no weakness, there's no growth. I remember watching one of this amazing series where there was a hero who had virtually unlimited power. So everywhere he goes, he has no weakness, right? So to a point where he faces enemies, and every single enemy comes to him, he feels no difference because there's no weakness. Every single enemy was defeated in just one punch, and so he felt that life as a hero was meaningless because every single enemy, there was no difference whether it's a strong enemy or weak enemy. To him, was all the same because every single enemy was defeated in just one punch. So when you think about this, why is it so important for us to embrace weakness, to embrace imperfections? Is because to that degree we can acknowledge those weaknesses within us. That's the degree that we can be true to who we are on the inside of us. Now, number two, let's take a look at this, right? Why do we get affected by what others say to us, especially people close to us? Now, oftentimes, one of the key challenges is that your clients, when you talk to them, when you coach them, they often get affected by people that are close to them rather than people that's away from them. Why is that so? Because there is an attribution of relationship, of connection that you have with the individual, and that's why you feel stronger in the words that they say to you. So for example, if someone says you suck, right? Someone from far, you don't know who, that doesn't affect you. But until you hear the person and until you feel the person, closeness, that really affects you. So think about this, right? Around the world, there will be someone using some form of words that are negative against you. But because you have not heard it, it doesn't impact you. But why is it when we hear those words, it impacts us compared to words that people are saying and doesn't impact us? Why? Because we project ourselves into that. We project ourselves into that and allowing that to take root into our hearts. So my challenge to coaches and my challenge to clients is this. Are we allowing those words to take roots in our hearts? We have to be very careful to plug out those weeds and to plant new plants that will really help us to grow, not weeds. A lot of those words are weeds that actually grows roots, that suck the nourishment out of us, but we want to remove those weeds. We want to plant the seeds of greatness. We want to plant seeds of joy. We want to plant seeds of happiness, seeds of satisfaction, seeds of peace, seeds of rest, seeds of love. We're not seeds that are actually harming us. So that's going to be a very important distinction. How are we allowing others' words to affect us, and how are we going to move from here? Number three, why do we put forth a front that conceals our true self? Why do we put forth a front that conceals our true self? Well, one of the reasons why we do that is because sometimes we want others to see us the way we want them to see, not who we truly are. We want people to see us as who we want them to perceive. So too often I see many people calling themselves brand coach or brand specialists and brand experts out there. Today there's a whole bunch of people who are going to the personal branding. And I often hear this time and time again. They say, oh, personal branding takes a while. Personal branding doesn't take a while. Personal branding can be done very quickly. So they're always arguing with each other. And one of the key things is this, when we listen to them say, one of the key attributes is this, that they're concealing who they are. It is almost as if you're showcase the good side of life. It's almost as if you're showing, this is what happens. And sometimes we over-exemplify. We make a characterization of our daily experience. For example, maybe your experience was this: you left the house to throw the rubbish into the rubbish chute. But the way you describe it now, you say, I was having this struggle today, and I was just perturbed by the sense of injustice, and my olfactory senses were having this juxtaposition of flavor and deep-seated sadness. So as I approach and take every step forward, the steps felt deeper, it felt slower, it felt more lethargic, and to the point when I reached to the bin, and finally with all my energy and more effort, I push it open and to flung the rubbish in. Suddenly, a whole joy and peace just inundate me, and I feel so relieved, and I feel energy all bursting forth. Now, notice. It's a simple process, just going to throw the rubbish. But you've just described it in a way that has put on so much facade. My question is that necessary? Or is that painting a picture with an intention to influence the client to think otherwise of what the normal experience might be? So too often, many people, over-describe things that is actually really simple, or over-describe things that are just meant to be plain and simple. Just throw the rubbish in the rubbish chute. You don't have to describe that exuberance effect unless there's intended purpose for. So one of the things we want to do is this. We question, why do we put forth a front? Is it necessary? Why do we have the pretense in front of us? How do we peel open the layers of pretense? How do we be true with ourselves? Right? Why do we want to do that? My question to all of us out there is this: whether you're a brand coach, you're the life coach, executive coach, abundance coach, whichever coach you are, why do you do what you do? What's your intention behind that? What's your intention for writing long posts or writing short posts or doing ads or doing videos or doing whatever things you do? There's nothing wrong in doing them. But what's your intention? Is your intention trying to do something for the client, or is your intention something more nefarious? What is it that you're trying to do? Okay, so that's your intention base. Number 4, is it wrong to be you? Is there a right time for us to be someone else? Is it wrong to be you? Is there a right time for us to be someone else? Now, one of the key challenges as coaches or as individuals is this: we often face with one challenge is this: oh, and I'm not sure whether I should be me. I'm not sure whether should be that. I'm not sure whether should I be this. Well, because this is that is this, and I feel really, really stuck, right? I'm not sure. Now, if you are faced with this situation, the conflict that's inside, because you're looking for the perfection, you're not happy with what you have right now. Because right now what you have is something work in progress. We are always in work in progress. We never reach a stage of perfection. If you reach a state of perfection, well, then you must be really careful, because you might be the imperfect person there. Okay, so we always say this: we are all work in progress. We have to learn to love and enjoy each step of the way. Even in the developmental process, we're all growing. Even in the process as a coach, we're journeying from ACC, PCC, MCC as well. It's a growing process. Even at MCC and beyond, it's all about a learning process, a process of refining, a process of relooking, a process of restarting, a process of embracing the whole new notion again, a whole new perspective again. So how do we do that? How do we actually recalibrate ourselves again? So being you, separating that. Number 5. If I can't change others' opinion of me, should I submit to their influence or fight for being myself? If I can't change others' opinions of me, should I submit to the influence or fight for being myself? Now, my question to you is this: who are you living for? What are you living for? What's the purpose of living? We got to answer first a few questions. What is the purpose of living in that situation? Why is that important for you? Why would you do that? Why is this question? So notice this question has a several premises. The premise is this: that I must change because that's what is demanded by me, because that's what society demands of me. What is it that you truly want? Because guess what? You're responsible for your own life, and you also have people around you that are responsible too. So you want to do something that is ecological for you, for the people, for the community at large. For example, if I were to go around just smoking cigarettes everywhere, right? And I said, this is me. I'm just free to express myself. But you know what? Yes, you are free, but you're not free of the consequence. You're not free to intrude into other spaces as well. So that is something really, really important as well. When we think about relationships, when we think about building communication, when we think about helping the person to have a freedom of self-expression, we need to help them see that the impact of their actions may cause repercussions, whether is it to the individual, to others, to other people at large as well. So think about this: being you and you be you are two different notions. But we have to create a very clear, distinct delineation for the clients, so that they understand what does it mean to be you, and what does it mean for you being that person to take the next step forward, to take the next action forward. Now, it's a very intricate fine line, but when we can do it well, we're able now to help the client go deeper in their life, and we can begin the deep inner work process. Okay, so there you have it. You be and be you. What are you going to be today? How are you going to be you today? And how are you going to take this forward in your conversation? Share me your thoughts below in the comment section, and leave a thumbs up if you like this video, and share me what other videos you would like to listen to as well. Because every single week we come to you with fresh breakdowns of videos to help you, and contents to really help you to become a better coach. My vision is that if I can help 1 million coaches all around the world become better at coaching, guess the impact that we have around the world. We raise the standards of coaching, and we're then able to impact many, many different lives around the world.